Zion Williamson, and I'm not going to say it, you thought I was. But listen, we've heard more about Zion Williamson in the last 2 months, more than we've ever heard about him on the court at this point, so it seems. So let's talk about why he needs to get better vets around him and ultimately what this could do to his career should this really not get under wraps. Let's talk about that and more right now. Listen, if you're new to the channel, this is P.kidd Talks NBA. I appreciate all the new subs and everybody that have been, rocking with me. It's been in just 28 days. 400 new people. I appreciate you all. And if you've been following me from the Windy City Breeze, we just crossed 20K subs over there. So I appreciate y'all rocking with the family. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Man, let's get into the topic, man. Listen, Zion Williamson has been on what I would call one of the worst PR runs in recent history. And it's kind of up there with Ja Morant. Not the same impact, not the same issue. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to misconstrue the two. But at the end of the day, we've heard so much about Zion, from whether or not he's been wanting to work, get on the court, from him taking care of his body, not taking it seriously, not wanting to develop a jump shot. And then you add on the fact that he has this, adult actress who has been going on this huge rant. And it's been like a month straight. I mean, at this point, we need to be talking about harassment charges or something against Shorty. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it all pretty much boils down to him not taking care of his business. I'm sure he's not the first young athlete. Listen, we know, it's not even I'm sure. We know he's not the first athlete to actually deal with this. But I will say, the way that it's kind of drawn out, stuff like that, at his age and everything else he has going on, it's the first time I've seen it happen this particular way. And while he is very soft-spoken type of individual, this is one of those type of issues where, you know what, you're already being seen as someone who isn't dependable as far as how your playing career has gone because you're not on the court. This kind of adds more fuel to that fire. You could find yourself, no matter what your production, being considered a headache in this particular league. If you don't think that's the case, there's been plenty of people who've been. Kyrie Irving is a good example. On the court, no one could say anything about what he did. He's a freaking phenom when it comes to that. Best ball handler we've ever seen. He should be NBA top 75. I mean, realistically, if you have people like Damian Lillard on there who has no championship, and you really look at what Kyrie's done, like, he really should be on that list, if I'm being honest. But all that aside, his off the court issues have really been something that's really teed people off. Now, again, I'm not saying it's on the same level. I can see the comments. But what I am saying is, when you sit there and allow those narratives to sit there and fester and build upon and build upon and build upon, you start building a reputation early that most people just don't want to be bothered with. Yeah, you can put butts in seats. You may even be able to sell jerseys. But now, what type of cancer are you to my organization? Or what type of cancer can you be perceived to be to my organization? Because ultimately, the narrative is what wins out, no matter what the truth is. And Kyrie's a good example of that, if I'm being honest. Mark Cuban has even talked about that. So realistically, we're talking about what these type of incidents do to your reputation. Not necessarily the incidents in themselves, but the reputation, how people want to be around you. And so I'm asking, and I'm actually begging, at this point, young brothers, take care of your chicken. Be mindful. Get vets around. Get the right people around you. Whether it be from Ja Morant down to Zion Williamson, there's too many vets that have been through this league, who've gone through some of these things, who have dealt with these issues, that y'all need to be checking in with and be like, hey, man, I need to help me. Because right now, you're looking at two players, Ja Morant and Zion, but this video is mostly about Zion, but Zion specifically, who had the chances to be the cornerstone of the new NBA. LeBron James is about to retire sooner or later. Now, it may not be next year. It may not be the season after. But compared to when he started, this career is coming to an end. KD is getting older. Steph is getting older. Eventually, the league has to transition, and these individuals were next up. You got to think about it. It's about a 10-year run between you coming into the league and then it being yours. LeBron, it was a 10-year run. By the time he won his first championship, Kobe was still active. Kobe was still considered the best in the league for a good portion of LeBron's young career. But at the end of the day, about 2011, 2012, that started to shift. Whose league was it? It was LeBron's. No one can dispute that. By 2012, when he won his first ring, it was Bron's league. But when he won his first ring, guess what? This is almost 10 years after he got drafted. Very, very close. Like, it takes that runway. It takes that runway for you to be the cornerstone face of it. People like, unless you're Steph Curry. I mean, obviously Steph got drafted, and then I think about what 7 years is about it. But I mean, you still argue about who's that. You get the point. At the end of the day, these individuals have the ability, they have the opportunity, and these type of distractions, they're not just temporary off-season distractions. These things can fester. These things can create this narrative about these particular players that damage them in the long run. But I want to hear your thoughts, man. I want to hear your thoughts on whether or not, on what you feel about this. I want to hear your thoughts on whether or not, this is going to be something that haunts Zion for a very long time, especially now because, I mean, Moriah Mills, I didn't even like saying her name in this video, but Moriah Mills is actually out there now saying she got beat and she miscarried because he beat her. While we can sit there and say that it's cap, that's a serious allegation. Like, it's a really serious thing to just totally scoff at. So even if we want to sit there and say, man, there's proof that she's crazy, this, that, and the other, and I'm not saying that's not wrong, that's not true. You have to sit there and wonder, okay, well, I can't put anything past this young man either. I don't believe it, but I mean, you got to you got to look. I'm not saying believe all women, because we've come to find out that you can't believe all of anyone. That's just an absolute dumb statement. Like, you have to take it, you have to investigate it, right? But you can't, so not believe everybody, but you can't dismiss everything. Like, we have to look into it. It's a very sensitive thing if you get what I'm saying. Like, you see him struggling with formulate how to appropriately address it. Like, even if it's cap, someone has to look into it. If she keeps on and she's carrying on and she's like, if she's adamant that that's what happened, now it's like, yo, bro, look at the situation you in. Simply because you wanted to live your childhood dream, basically, of being with adult entertainers and stuff like that. Like, man, chill. You're Zion Williamson. Chill. Somebody needs to, but again, I want to hear your thoughts, man. Whether it's love, whether it's hate, put it in the comments. I'll be in there with you. Again, I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the new subs. We're gonna keep. This is P.kidd Talks NBA, so we talk. This is one of the things that keeps popping up. I've been trying to avoid it, but it keeps popping up. It's like, oh God, let me just address it once and get it out the way. And so, man, hopefully this is the last we hear about that. Hopefully the allegations are not true, but if they are, man, that's a really interesting and sad way to go for him. But Jesus. But again, till next time, man. Peace.